What's that? Crawling on me. Not fire ants. Please don't be fire ants.
Hello everyone. Today I will give you a summary of a movie entitled Gulliver Travels, which was released in 2010.
Got a little something for you? Ah, god dang it, sorry about that. Listen.
This movie is telling a story of mail delivery named Lemuel Gulliver, who is pretending to have an ability to write article to impress Darcy Silverman. At first he succeeded.
Wow. I am so impressed, Gulliver.
Then Darcy suggested Gulliver to travel so he can write more articles. In this case, Darcy suggests Gulliver to go to Bermuda Triangle. But the adventures turn out to be more than just an ordinary trip because he got stranded in a Lilliput land. And what happens next? Let's see how the story goes. The film starts by showing Gulliver, who was working to deliver mail to everyone in his office. He has been working there for 10 years, but his career stuck as a low-ranking employee in that company.
You've been here like 10 years, man. You know,
In his working place, Gulliver meets Darcy, who is a travel writer, and Gulliver secretly likes her. But since he is only a low-ranking employee, he feels small in front of the woman, so he doesn't have the gut to get close to Darcy. Until one day Gulliver tells Darcy that he actually has a hidden hobby, which is writing.
I travel a lot. I go to New Zealand, been to Mexico.
Hearing that makes Darcy feels impressed and asks Gulliver to show the example of his writing.
Hey, Gulliver. Nice job putting yourself out there.
That night Gulliver tries to write article, but since he doesn't have the ability to do so, he feels hopeless.
She's expecting a right example. What was I thinking? I gotta write this thing!
Until he finally has an idea to do dirty tricks by copying others' articles and shows that to Darcy. Since the articles are very good, Darcy feels impressed and suggests Gulliver to go travel often so that he can get more stories to share. By that suggestion, Gulliver then goes to Bermuda Triangle and hoping to have an adventure to be made into writing.
All the chickens get on the road, man! Precious cargo, no!
In the middle of his trip, Gulliver is bored because he is alone. He spends his time by reading magazine until he feels asleep. But soon Gulliver panicked because the ship he drives is heading into a fairly large whirlpool and he gets sucked into it.
911!
The next day when he wakes up, Gulliver is already stranded in a beach. Here he feels like he couldn't move his arms and legs, and it turns out that he was already tied. Then a group of people approached him and one of them introduced himself as General Edward. He says that Gulliver is arrested because he is trying to sneak into Lilliput land. Seeing the size of the people, who are very small, Gulliver panicked and tries to run away, but they catch him back easily. This time they bring Gulliver to a cave. Here he meets the other prisoners named Horatio. Then Horatio says that he gets imprisoned because he was loving the royal princess when it is something forbidden in Lilliput Island. Then General Edward came and asked Gulliver to plow the field. But not long after, a sound of bell was heard and it signs that there is an attack from the country next to them called the Blefischen.
That was 3! It's an attack!
No, it actually sounded more like 2 bells.
Gulliver then runs to the castle. After he arrives there, Horatio realized that the princess is in danger, then he asks Gulliver to save her. Horatio then take off all the chains and cuffs in Gulliver's body. Blefischen soldiers who will kidnap the princess are surprised by Gulliver's appearance. And Gulliver can save Princess Mary easily.
Let's get you out of here.
Soon after that a bell sound signaling a fire can be heard.
The fire has raged out of control.
My father is trapped.
Then Gulliver runs to the direction and sees that the castle is in fire while King Theodore is trapped inside. Gulliver has a crazy idea to put out the fire by peeing on it. But it turns out that this idea successfully saved the king. The king is thankful to Gulliver for saving his life, and to celebrate it Gulliver is invited to eat together with the royal family.
Horatio, the Glavier's company at a royal banquet this evening, do you accept?
Here the king and queen ask if Gulliver comes from the Forbidden Island. Gulliver is confused with the question, but at the end Gulliver tells them that he comes from New York and he is a brave hero in his origin.
No, where's the island where we dare not go?
Due to his good deed, the king offers Gulliver to live in Lilliput land by building house and cinemas for his place of entertainment. Long story short, Gulliver helps Horatio to meet Princess Mary, but his action is caught by Edward, which makes him hates Gulliver and Horatio even more.
As I always do at this time of day.
At night Edward and his soldier find Gulliver's ship.
This at once. We've found it.
Gulliver is really happy here because he can find his phone, and he can hear a few voicemails he gets. One of them is from Darcy, who is mad because she finds out that Gulliver's article was a result of copy-paste, which makes Darcy gets into trouble in the office. Hearing that, Gulliver feels guilty and sad.
Fantastical news you've ever received in your life.
On the next day Edward convinces King Theodore to get rid of Gulliver immediately. But instead of doing so the king makes Gulliver as the general of war. This make Edward gets more furious and he purposely shut down the ocean defense system. This chance is used by the Blefuscan to attack Lilliput land.
Oh no!
Gulliver is called to deal with the attack. Then he approaches the Blefuscan ships and advises them to pretend to be scared and leave to prevent the war.
They want me to vanquish you guys, but I don't want to vanquish anybody, and you don't want to be vanquished.
But the Blefuscan shoot him with hundreds of cannon instead, which makes Gulliver feels itchy. Realizing that the Blefuscan won't cooperate with him, finally Gulliver has to drive them out. Seeing this, the king gets even more proud to Gulliver and builds some buildings that are similar to the buildings in Gulliver's hometown New York. Because Edward gets even more jealous to Gulliver, he then decides to meet with King Blefuscan and invites him to work together. He then invents a robot with a guidance from a book he found in the wreckage of Gulliver's ship. The next morning when the people of Lilliput Island are partying, suddenly they were surprised by the sound of a bell signaling another attack. Turns out that the Lilliput country had an object similar to a trash can approaching them and Gulliver underestimated it. However, the trash can turns out to be a robot invented by Edward and it suddenly become huger than Gulliver's body. Gulliver is having a difficult time to beat him. He even gets embarrasses in front of the king and queen while he honestly confessed that he is actually a coward and not a hero, just like what he said before.
I lied.
Then Edward sends Gulliver to a forbidden beach. Upon arriving there, Gulliver thought that he is already back into his place. But instead of that he is actually in an even more terrible place.
No way.
Then Gulliver gets caught by a giant girl and she makes him as her toy. Gulliver is scared, so he always complied with the giant girl's request.
Okay, we're kissing. Oh, gentler, hold on, another doll.
At the same time, Darcy also gets stranded in Lilliput land and has been caught by Edward. Seeing this, Horatio meets Princess Mary to ask her to meet Gulliver. But Princess Mary refused because she is scared Edward will hurt her father who is in prison. Then Horatio goes alone to the Forbidden Island to find Gulliver. Here he tells Gulliver that Darcy has been caught and that Gulliver should save her. Hearing this make Gulliver feels more guilty to Darcy. But Horatio convinced Gulliver that it is his chance to pay for his mistake.
Take off that dress and let's get out of here.
Then Gulliver agrees and comes back to Lilliput land with Horatio. Upon arriving there, Gulliver quickly meets Darcy, who is in the prison. In this occasion he apologizes to Darcy and confesses his feelings to her. Upon hearing Gulliver's honest confession, Darcy then forgives him and asks Gulliver what should they do to save the kingdom. This actually lifts up Gulliver's spirit. Then he challenged Edward to fight again and witnessed by the entire population of Lilliput. But the robot used by Edward has sophisticatedly improved and it is equipped with various kinds of weapons. This make it difficult for Gulliver to defeat him.
Shocking, isn't it?
Seeing this, Horatio decided to sneak into the robot and managed to pull out the power source inside. Gulliver uses this chance to defeat Edward's robot.
Now that's a witch.
See that?
Upon witnessing Horatio's bravery, Princess Mary falls in love with him. Then King Theodore gives them his blessing to get married. Shortly Gulliver's ship is fixed successfully, so Gulliver and Darcy can go back to New York. And the story ends. That's it, the video for this time. See you again on another film summary on the next video.